Hi everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to handle text file using Python. With Python, you can create, update, and process data files. I mean text files. As you are aware that you can permanently store any amount of data in a file. In other words, data kept in file is persistent. I'll take you through processing two different file formats. The text file with the .txt extension and the CSV files. I'll demonstrate the CSV file format in future video. Let's get straight into business. Programs typically request and release resources, including files during program execution. A file used by a program should be released for use by another program if there's need for that. For each file opened, Python creates a file object that will be used to interact with the data content in the file. I'll demonstrate this to you by showing you how to create a simple text file to keep track of your list of to-dos. Store in some data into this file, and we will read from this file using the Python open method. The Python open method takes in two arguments. First, it takes in the file name and the mode, and there are about 6 modes that can be used in processing file. The first one is the read mode, which is the default value, and it opens the file for reading, while it shows error if the file doesn't exist. The second one is the append method. The append method, this appends or adds data to the end of the file. And this creates the file if the file does not exist. Then we have the W, which opens a file for writing. And this also creates the file if the file does not exist. There is the create, as this creates the specified file and returns error if the file does exist. There is the text, which is the default value, and we have the B, which is for creating binary files or reading from binary files. I haven't shown you all of this. Let's quickly rush to the IDE and then try to work out some stuff, right? Like I said, we can use the open method to create a file. And using the open method, the first thing we need to do is you set in a variable in which you want to create the file object. That's all right. For our demonstration, let's try f as our variable equal to open the text file name. Let's just name it file.txt and a comma. Then right now, I want to write into this file we're about to create. All right, that's W for write. Then let's do f dot the write method now. Let me just quickly put in some text. I'll be doing I am running some programming text. Then to push the stuff to the next line, we just need to do / and n. I think I've shown this in my previous video. So, and let's copy this a couple of times. I tried one more. All right. If I run this little app, you see that my file is okay. I think I have a file there already. Let me delete that. And right now, let's create a new one. The file is already created. Then to read from this file, the first thing we need to do right now is we need to change this W mode to the read mode as R for read, right? And we'll clear out this stuff. Let's change this to R. Then for reading from a text file, there are some methods that we can use. We have the read method, or let's try to print out the data in the file using the read mode or the read method. Let's read. If I run this right now, you see what is going to print out for me. You can see I'm running some programming text, right? Then there's another one, the read line. This prints out just the first line, right? Then there's another method that gives us, that's the read lines, that gives us the list, or gives us in a list everything contained in the file. Let's try this out. You can see that I'm running some programming text, and it includes the backslash and n for the new line, right? This same stuff, for us to get a clean text, we can use the for loop. I'll be showing us this very soon. This method keeps the file open even while the program terminates. Therefore, you must use the close method of the file object to close this file. And common mistakes with programmer is forgetting to close the file using the close method. All right. To prevent this common error, Python provides a context manager. That is the with statement. I'll be demonstrating this very soon. And this statement or the context manager, it automatically closes the file after every process. Let's use the with statement to show us how this works. We'll be using this with statement to create the list of to-dos. Right? How does it work? It's just simple. Let's go straight with still the open statement. It takes the normal text name. Let's name it. Let's name this to-dos .txt. Then right now we want to write into the file, and then this asks for the variable we want to save in the file or the data, right? Let's say let's call it to-dos. Then we'll terminate this with a colon, and on the next line, let's say to-dos dot write. Like you can see, the snippet is already suggesting for us, right? What are we writing into this? Like we have the list of to-dos. My first to-do is 01 is study the Bible and do some meditation. Yes, let me copy this a couple of times. Okay, if I do the copying, let me do the backslash and n for me to have the text in new lines. And so let me quickly edit this and add new text into it. All right, and the second one is let me just do some workouts today. That's my daily routine. A chapter of atomic habits for 1 hour. All right, this is what we have. Let's just quickly have a little more fun. Let me change this to make each unique and a little more beautiful. So right now I'm going to be running this, and me running this is going to create a excuse me, is going to create another text file called to-dos, right? So boom, we can see in here the text file called to-dos. And how do I read from this file? I'm going to be showing you just a little using the string format method. I'll show you how to do this using the for loop like I promised earlier. So like before, let's clear this out because the file is already created. And let's use har here for us to read from the file. Let's use read. And how do I read from the file? For me to read from the file, I'll be creating or putting this in a tabular form. So let me print out as f string. I showed this in my previous video. If you're new to it, you can go and watch some of my first or my second video. Right, yeah. F string. Then sorry. All right. We have SN for the serial number. Then a colon, and I'm going to be given a space of 5 between this. Then another colon, sorry, another curly brace for the second headline, or the heading rather, as to-dos. That should be in quotation mark, double quotation mark now, because we have single quotation mark around it. Then the next thing I'll do is using the for loop for line in to-dos now. Let's read lines. Right, like I showed you that Readline is going to list out everything, and using the for loop is going to help us list this in lines and um, remove the backward slash and n for new line. All right, so how do we do this? I'm going to be creating multiple variable. I'll use s n snum for the serial number and to do, right, equal to line dot split. I'm going to be splitting from the using that where the hyphen or dash is. All right. Then how do I print this? I'll be printing this out using the format or string format method. The first thing you need to do is the colon. Then we have two placeholders, one for the serial number and the other one for to do. The first placeholder, then without space or a little space, the second placeholder. And outside this dot format, then within this, we have the serial number and the to do. Then to beautify this so that we don't have the string stuff, we can then, sorry, the new line, that's the backslash and what's it called, the end for new line. We can end it with empty space. That's pretty good. If I run this, you can see we have well formatted table of list of to-dos from number 1 through to number 5, right? Saying that we have the serial number, we have the to-dos, and what the context manager does is it creates the file and it allows us to read into the file and save the file object into this variable called to-dos, which we then use to interact with the data content and the file. This is a very simple application that we can use to read from, that we can use to create a list of to-dos. And okay, if I want to make it really a dynamic application, then I'll put this in a function, right? And this is going to really work fine, and you can use it to create any text file. All right, like I promised that I'll be showing you how to process CSV files or file formats in future classes. Please expect this soon. And thank you for staying with me this far, and watch out for more videos. And before we go, I would appreciate if you would kindly subscribe to my channel, then push the like button so that so that this video can reach as many beginners that would need it. And also do not forget to press the notification bell to get notified once I drop a new or the next video. Thanks and God bless you. Bye for now.